This lesson is about how to draw a head and a face using the correct proportions, putting everything in the right place. Obviously, lots of heads are different sizes and shapes, so I'm using a generic Caucasian face. If you are drawing a man or a woman, the faces will look different. A female, more feminine face tends to be a bit rounder in the jaw, whereas if you do a masculine face, it tends to be a bit more angular in the jaw, possibly heavier eyebrows, maybe a bit less eyelash. If you use a thicker eyelash, it tends to make it look a bit more feminine. It's possible for men to have a more feminine face and for women to have a more masculine face. So it's not so much about gender and more about face shape. Also, children's faces would be quite different in terms of proportions. The younger you are, the lower down the eyes are on the face. So if that's the top of your head to your chin, the eyes are very low on the face and all the features are in a very small area. So babies have everything in a very tiny area with a very large head section. But on an adult face, the key thing to remember is that the eyes are halfway down the face. This is the thing we tend to get wrong most because we forget about the hairline and we focus in on the eyes and we tend to draw them bigger and higher up. We're going to start by getting the shape of the head. What we can do to make it even, you can fold your paper in half and in half that way as well, just so you get a central line in both directions. This point here, if you had that as your central line, then you could put your eyes there. You would then know that whatever line we did for the top of the head, you could basically measure. You can see through the paper, that's going to be the chin. So we know that that would be the eyes. This point here would be the centre, right in the centre of the eyes. One way of doing this is to create a kind of egg shape. Make sure your egg is nice and round. What you could do is get something that's round and draw around it to create your face. You can also, if you want to get it even, copy that through. I now have a kind of egg shape, and so this would be the top of my head and this would be the chin. Now I know where the eyes are. Within this section, so this would be your eye line, try and create 5 of the same shape. And then you've got the eyes about the right size. So you can keep adjusting it. Then you can rub out this one, the middle one, and the side one. This is therefore an eye distance in the middle. Make sure that this eye is right in the centre when you do it. The nose is halfway between these 2 points. So you can use a ruler to measure it, or you can just try and gauge what would be halfway. Somewhere here. This would be the base of your nose. The way I do the side bits of the nose, where I can measure that, is I tend to come down from the tear duct and put a curve in there. These sections are really just a shadow, and you wouldn't put a line here unless you were drawing like Picasso. It looks a bit odd if you start putting solid lines. There are very few places on the face where you've got solid lines. These bits here are usually dark enough to put a solid line, and then the nostrils, maybe a little bit underneath, and the edges of the eyes, and the central line of the mouth. But otherwise you don't really want to put heavy lines down. I could put the nostrils, just a little curved line. You don't want to make the nostrils too big, because if you're looking up the nostrils, it's usually less flattering. And obviously not all noses are this long. This is an average Caucasian face, because in different ethnicities the eyes would be different and the sides of the nose may be different, the size of the mouth. So then the mouth, you would look at where the middle is here, but you don't want to go to the middle, you want to go just a bit above the middle, and then you can create this central line of the mouth. But have a look in the mirror while you're doing this, or if you've got somebody that would pose for you. And if you create the circle in the eye, the thing about your eye is that you don't see the top of this circle. So this circle, your iris, comes above this lid. So you only see the bottom part of it. But when you do the pupil inside, that's still got to be fairly high up. So it's got to be in the center of the circle. Now you can go down from the side of this iris and have an idea of where the sides of the mouth might be. Different people measure it from different places. Have a look on your face in the mirror and see where the sides of your mouth, when you're not smiling, where does the side of your mouth line up with? Where does the side of your nose? Maybe get a ruler and try it on your face. And now, very, very lightly, because this is not a line, it's just a shadow, you can put in the top lip. Everyone has different shaped top lips. Have a look at your own. On my lips, my top lip comes into that middle line before the edge, but the bottom one comes much closer to the edge. But remember, don't do these bits too heavy. So this is your basic shape to start with. You can put an eyelid crease. Again, not everybody has an eyelid crease above your eye. And then a little way above that. I wouldn't ever do a line for an eyebrow. I would always do soft hair. Have a look at the shape of your eyebrows. The hard thing in a face is trying to get everything symmetrical, making one side the same as the other. So once you've got all of these basic shapes, you can now work out there's a kind of a third that I tend to look at. If I put my fingers like this, then do this, and then do this, I suppose it's like a quarter. I can put the hairline in here. And if I wanted to do straight hair, I could create a middle parting by putting lots and lots of lines in the direction of the hair. And quite often you get a shine in hair. And don't forget that this is the top of the skull, so the hair would come above that line. And the way to get the shine is to create that hair going in that way. Your headline, the line of the head, will come in down. You've got the top curve and it comes in about half an eye. So it comes down straight, curves in, and then you can create the shape of your face. This is more of an adult shaped face. And then I can rub out this section. And now the proportions of your face should kind of look right. The neck is always much wider than you think. So if you look to the edge of your eye, it can come straight down. Usually that's where the neck is. So the edge of the eye comes straight down. And there you've got your neck. So it's much wider than you imagine. You can create the shoulder. Your ears are in line with your eyebrow. You can draw that quite close, kind of curve. The bottom of the ear is in line with your nose. Depending on what hairstyle you do, you might not see the ears. Then we can create the hair. This bit's always usually a bit darker. And that is the basic shape of your face. If you wanted to do short hair, obviously you can then create a different hairstyle or curly hair. Creating hair is a whole nother discipline and a whole nother skill to learn, but the general rule is to draw every line that you're drawing in the direction that the hair is growing. This is much easier if you do it in charcoal, you can get it very, very soft. I've got one here in charcoal that I did before, and I can show you how to do that. I'll do a tutorial on that. And the next videos that I'll do will be how to draw each feature in a bit more detail, so you can create a full portrait from the front more accurately. Have fun and don't give up. Portraiture is definitely one of the hardest skills to learn because we recognise the face so well that we get much more critical about drawings. But keep trying, you will get there, and try and have fun with it.